Hi, it's Cindy, and I have a project share. This is a little book that I've made for a swap on Junk Journal Junkies. We were to make a book that measured 4 by 6 and had to have at least 10 pages, and we weren't to overstuff it. And it had to be a cloth cover. So this is what I did, and I think it's kind of pretty. This is my cloth. I use this pretty little piece of fabric. I stitched the fabric to a piece of cardstock, and you'll see that on the inside. I ended up putting metal corners on because just from me handling the book, the corners were starting to turn, and I don't like that. So I dug out my little Tim Holtz paper corners, and the little ones, and put them on there. So I just tied it with a piece of grosgrain ribbon, and on the cover I have some coffee dyed cheesecloth, and then I made a tag. I glued it to some chipboard and cut it out and inked it up with vintage photo, and it's just a piece from the conservatory collection. It's not the paper I use, but I think it goes well. I put a little metal butterfly here, this butterfly applique here, and a little yellow tulle for my tie up here, and these butterflies were already there, and it says, "Be curious." And I've been tempted to go over this with a darker pen just because you can barely read it, but that's how it came, so I guess that's how it's supposed to be. So inside, I used most of the paper, well actually, no, most of the papers, the cardstock that I used was from a Tim Holtz pad, and I'm forgetting which one. But anyway, I'm sure it's no longer available because it's a pretty old pad. But anyway, I love this paper, and so I sacrificed my paper for this. This is paper that I made myself by decoupaging a napkin onto a manila folder and cut it up in various ways, which you'll see. I just have a manila folder tag that I stuck in here. And which I'm actually going to switch out because it's the same paper. We have another part of the scrap. Some receipts. I don't like to have matchy tags. This is some stenciling I did with some modeling paste. I think it's the Heidi Swap Blue Metallic modeling paste on coffee dyed legal paper. So just a tiny little bit of second generation stamping here. I didn't want to use first generation too often. It tends to bleed through for one thing, and for another it just distracts. Sometimes I think the stamping it's more important than it is. This is a glassine bag with a decoupage napkin on it, and it's got a little manila folder tag with a butterfly from some ephemera I have tucked away, and another receipt. And I don't like that either, having two receipts close together like that, so I might be changing that. I'm going to pull them out so I remember to do it. And I just have a little bit of ribbon stapled here with my tiny attacher onto this tag. So on this little bit of, I glued a little bit of coffee dyed paper to the back of this cardstock just because it was a dark pattern and I wanted to be able to write on it and have it be legible. Just a little bit of stamping there, and more stamping there. Another little pocket cut from another piece of the Tim Holtz paper. Guest check and a little sales tag, one of the ones that Donna gifted me. Another piece of one of those manila folders that I decoupaged on. But this I made into a little booklet, and with a few pages of coffee dyed paper. I used, and I stitched this one, I used vintage photo or Ranger archival sepia ink for various things throughout the book. Most of the stamping is done with the archival. I also made, put a little fabric on this paper clip. The paper from Tim Holtz, coffee dyed paper, a little pocket from the Tim Holtz paper. This is a Rolodex card with some more ephemera glued to it. This is a tag that I made with another manila folder and a different napkin, a little bit of a guest check, and a Tim Holtz paper doll with some lace at the top, crocheted lace. Love that coffee dyed paper. A little fabric collage and a dangle here with some little acorns that are so sweet, and a little bead dangle. A couple of butterflies up in the corner of that paper. And a lace stamping, and lots and lots of room to journal in this book. I love this page because it was light enough that you can write on it without any worries. Piece of lace and a ribbon rather with some daisy appliques, some more stamping, butterfly stamping of second generation. This is the rest of that, or a big chunk of that, a manila folder that I did a napkin on. Another glassine bag with a napkin decoupage and a little tag stuck inside. I think there's a guest check down in there too, it looks like, in the back. And second generation stamping of those daisies. That's a deep red stamp that I love. A couple of metal flowers with some bling that I glued on there just to get fancy. Another pocket from the collection, a little garment tag, another of my sort of collage tags, and one from that same paper. The tissue, the napkin decoupage. A little piece of gathered fabric with a dangle that has a couple of charms. There's an umbrella and a key and a tree of life, and they're on a bulb pin. Another lace edge stamp, a little fabric flip, and some daisies. Some little stamped daisies and a couple of little stems down there. Beautiful paper. A lace pocket with a little booklet that I showed the other day that I made, and a guest check, and just a manila tag with some other paper sewn onto it. On the back side we have my tulip ribbon on yellow legal size paper, and on the inside cover there's my little created by Cindy Matthews. And the inside cover, right again, the tabs, and that's my book. I'm happy with it. I hope whoever gets it in the swap will like it. And I thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and come back.